What's up, guys? Ron Harris here with a video today I did not want to make. I find this whole scenario pretty disturbing to see that someone as young as 14 is not only on steroids, it's bad enough, shouldn't be on steroids at 14, I don't care who you are, but on TREN. TREN is one of, if not the most powerful steroids known to humankind. Very, very toxic, very dangerous. Here's how I found out about it. Found out about Nick Trigili's page, Bodybuilding BS. So I want to give him credit. I don't know if he was the first person to bring this young man to light, but here it was. So there's a video on a young man named Cody Kopa, 14 years old. We're going to go to Cody's Instagram in a second. So Cody, Nick's still talking there. I don't know how old he is in this picture. It looks like he's like 12. He's talking about how he gets him jacked. Yeah, he's put on some muscle. He's like 11 or 12 years old, not before. He's 14. Don't get me wrong. He looks great for a 14-year-old in terms of muscularity. Certainly better than I did at 14. I was just starting to hit puberty at 14. But if you look at the comments, really tell a good story here. This kid, let's go to his Instagram rather than just dwell on Nick's. So Cody Kopa, I find it hard to believe he's only got 1,400 followers, because the fact that he's talking about being on TREN, usually that gets a lot of young guys excited and they want to follow him. So side effects of TREN. He says, getting jacked. I was going to say he has a red face, but I think it's a sunburn. A lot of acne on the back, as you can see, which happens to teenagers without steroids. Acne on the chest, acne on the shoulders, acne everywhere. So more than one side effect. And this gentleman posted, real side effects include, I want to make sure I'm showing this. Yeah. Real side effects of TREN include acne, high cholesterol, high triglycerides, TREN cough, no kids, sleep insomnia, destruction of the kidneys, stroke, high blood pressure, rots your brain. Steroids at this age stunts puberty, meaning not only they stop you from growing vertically, but also in other places. I don't know if that's true, but he could definitely be destroying his body's ability to ever produce its own testosterone naturally, which at that age, you're pumping it out. You're really cranking out the testosterone at that age. Before TREN and small, after being jacked, he actually didn't make that much of a change, honestly. Someone's asking, how much TREN you running? You got to double your dosage. He says 100 milligrams. I don't know if he means daily or weekly. Someone says, stop using TREN in your first cycle. And he says, why not, though? I mean, 14 years old, you're a child. You can't do anything. You can't buy alcohol. You can't vote. You can't drive a car. You should not be able to be using dangerous steroids. I keep seeing people sticking up for his decision, saying, well, there's a lot worse things he could be doing at 14 than steroids. They're saying, he could be on heroin or whatever. He could be getting girls pregnant. Yeah, there's a lot of bad things you could be doing, could get into, a lot of recreational drugs and whatnot. But why would you have to choose as a parent? And I want to hear from you parents out there specifically. Those of you who have children, sons, daughters, this really bothers me. I have a son. He's older now. He's 24. He'll be 25 in the fall. My daughter's 30. But, I did my best to keep them safe and protect them. Did they still try things like alcohol and marijuana? Of course they did. I couldn't stop them from doing that. But as a parent, your job is to monitor your kids as best you can, be involved in their lives. Yeah, he's very proud that he's put on weight. Says he gets bigger than the Major League 16. I think he read that he's, and people are saying, you look like a natural. 17. Yeah, I mean, he looks great for a 14-year-old kid. Don't get me wrong, but this is an age when you absolutely don't need steroids. Absolutely not. He could have made maybe not this many gains, but he was being impatient. He wanted to hurry up and make the gains. This post, why I'm on steroids, and he's just showing you how jacked he is and he's happy. A lot of people keep saying, where are the parents? Where are the parents? I don't know why I take gear at 14. Yeah, he is 14. I was mistaken. I thought that he'd started at 14. Now he's 17. He's 14. He's only 14. I mean, that's the year I started high school, 9th grade. very, very young. What 1 month on Tren will do. So yeah, he's making very, very rapid gains. It's very satisfying to make such quick gains, see your body change so drastically. Someone's telling him 14-year-olds don't need to be on Tren. And a lot of people are sticking up for him. They say it's his body, it's his business, blah, 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 blah. It's Cody. He actually wanted to go viral. He posted, he linked, mentioned Greg Doucette IFBB Pro, what you think, because he knows that'll inspire Greg to do a video. And I think he's already done a video. He wants to get famous. I mean, it's crazy how now an easy way for young guys to get clout is to say that they're on steroids and to brag about it and, talk about I'm on this and that. And Tren seems to be like the one drug they all want to be on because I think the name sounds cool. It's the most powerful steroid. It just sounds, they just think they're a badass if they can say, oh, now he's on SARMs. Tried some new SARMs today before Arm Day. If you're on Tren, why would you even need to be on SARMs? Yeah, my goodness gracious. And people are asking him for gear advice. They're asking a 14-year-old, a child, for steroid advice here. It's SARMs and cycle advice. And this is the danger of the internet, of social media. Anybody can give advice. Anybody can be sought out as an expert, no matter their age, no matter their actual education level or level of experience. Average 14-year-old on gear. Average 14. Oh, no. I don't know what he's saying. Things you may experience as a, so people are trying to warn him in these posts. Things you may experience as a Trenbolone user, different diseases and medical conditions, injuries, car crashes, substance abuse, violence, malnutrition, dehydration, blah, blah, blah. All right, I think they went a little overboard there. It's probably AI. So he's getting both encouragement and discouragement, equal parts, it looks like to me. He's got people calling him out. If you're really on Tren at this young of an age, you're cooked. And, what kind of damage is he doing now? Biggest 14-year-old. Yeah, that's great. You're the biggest 14-year-old. Yeah, believe me, I would have loved to look like this at 14. And I probably was so dumb back then that I would not have been worried about any repercussions or long-term health effects or shutting down my testosterone production. When you're 14, you're not thinking about tomorrow. You're not thinking about next year, or 5 years, or 10, 20 years. You're not thinking about anything but right now. And you want to do things that feel good right now and give you rewards right now. I saw one thing where he posted that he's 142 pounds. That was a month ago. So he must be very, very short, I'm guessing. I'm guessing he can't be more than like 5'2", 5'3". See, he has a lot of people defending him. How about people stop insulting him? You don't know what pressure you've been on, what factors led to this. Wow. Nice to see you. Nice. Well, suck up. Bro's going to be 18, bald, and stuck at 4'3". Yeah, well, he's probably not 4'3". And they keep saying, oh, Arnold probably started around 16. He has in his bio, future Mr. Olympia. The whole lifting short makes sense. You can actually shut down your growth. You have these growth plates in between your bones up until you're done growing. And you can fuse those growth plates earlier by speeding up this whole process of androgens. You can Google it. It's a real thing. So lifting doesn't necessarily make you shorter, but using steroids at a young age before you're done completely growing, I'm pretty sure that can actually do that. 14,100 milligrams of Tren. Wow. Yeah. Boy, oh boy. So he keeps showing how skinny he was before. And he's on the SARMs too. Let's just take the risk. That's the post. Take the risk. Unbelievable. He's encouraging other people to do this. POV, you added Tren to your diet. Yeah. Wow. Boy, oh boy. First pick, were we already working out? Yeah, first pick, he looks like he's like 10 years old, 12 years old. And I'm not picking on this kid specifically. I don't know him. And, I wish I'm a parent. I don't want to see anybody get hurt, any young kids messing up their health, their hormone production, anything like that. I remember I had this conversation with the late Boston Lloyd a few times. He used to think by me calling out what was happening, what he was doing, that I was wishing ill upon him, and I assured him no. I have a daughter. My daughter he would have been my daughter's age, or he would have been a year older than my daughter. So, and I knew his dad a little bit, and I felt horrible for his dad, John, when Boston passed, and I still feel terrible for John to have to lose a son. Nobody should be dying at 20. No parent should have to outlive their child. It's one of the worst things I can imagine. Natural, 8 months lifting. No, this is why he's on Tren. So he keeps changing his mind. Now he's saying he's natural. So I don't even know. He's clearly not natural, because he made very, very fast gains, and he's literally covered in acne everywhere. Oh boy, oh boy. I don't know. What do you guys got to say? Natural aesthetics. I don't know why. So this was first cycle. After he put first cycle, he was putting natural for a while still. I don't know what he means. Someone says, that's a lot of acne. When you're 25, your skin will look like it's 40. Is it worth it? He didn't respond to that. See you around. Start a few months ago, you're already on roids. Yeah. And, this is 8-week cycle of testosterone. So I guess he tried test before Tren. I don't know. Getting very natural. Now he's vegan. I don't know what to believe with this kid. Bro got mogged. I don't know what that means. You Gen Z guys have your own language. Mini Arnold. So in his bio, what does he say? I got to go to the bio. Biggest 14-year-old. Why does he have Natty in his bio when he's bragging about being on all the drugs? I'm very confused by that. And it looks like he's already got a deal with Enhanced Labs, Tony Hughes' company. Yeah, shocking. So, oh, Lord. Let me see what you guys have to say so far, and then we'll go to more. So, Saeed, disaster waiting to happen unless he's pursuing professional career as bodybuilding. If he needs drugs at 14, if you need to start using drugs right away to see any results, which he apparently decided he couldn't wait to build a natural foundation of size and strength. He's in too much of a rush. By the time he's 18 or 19, assuming if he continues using the drugs, by the time he's like 18 or 19, he's going to be fried. He's going to already been on gear for 4 or 5 years. His natural hormone production is going to be destroyed. He'll have to be on TRT for the rest of his life, even if he goes off gear, or else he's not going to have any testosterone. I could see people commenting on the Facebook post when I'm trying to get them to go to the video. Yeah. But the point is, even if he turns pro as a bodybuilder someday, most pro bodybuilders don't make any money. There's still this wacky idea that you get like a paycheck as a pro bodybuilder, or endorsements automatically come flowing to you. Not at all. I mean, these days, the majority of the people making money from their physiques, they're not professionals or anything like that. They're just influencers. They have good physiques. They're good looking. They're well spoken. They know how to make creative, really cool content that people want to watch. Sam Sulek's a great example. He does have a pretty damn good physique, Sam Sulek, but it's his personality. It's very engaging. He's very easy to listen to. People can watch his videos, 20, 30, 40 minutes, just really him lifting and talking. And it's enough to keep millions of people interested. Sacco's you're not seeing. Shout out to Ron, Dr. T. What's up? Did you ever work out the Waltham YMCA? No, I did not. Never worked out at it. There was a World Gym in Waltham I worked out at a few times later when I was almost ready to leave Waltham for good back in early 90, late 1990, I think it was. If this is my son, I'd be brokenhearted. I wouldn't stand for it one bit. Yeah, people keep saying, where are the parents? Because he's obviously all over social media. He's had videos now made about him. Coach Greg Doucette, I think, made one, and he gets sometimes 1 million views per video. So I don't know how the news hasn't gotten to his parents yet that your son's on steroids. Well, first of all, how'd you not notice this kid got suddenly, within a month or two, got way bigger, broke out in crazy acne? You'd have to be a very, what's the word I'm looking for? Negligent, non-attentive parent to not see all this happening right in front of you with your son. They're saying, where's he getting the money? Where's he getting the trend? Who knows? He could have he could be coaching people for all we know about it. I could see him coaching people with gear cycles and diets and stuff, because anybody can do that now. Contact me if you want a good coach. But man, I really wonder how the parents can't be aware of this and putting a stop. Why aren't they putting a stop to it? Yeah, Scott Burris, congratulations. You got your 15-year-old body a year early. You'll get your 70-year-old body 10 years early. You know, he might be one of the lucky ones. I had that interview last week with Boss of Outlaw, Stefan Kienzel, prep coach to guys like William Bonac, Wesley Vissers, Urs Kalachinsky. We spoke about something called hyper-tolerators. These are people who can tolerate years and years of steroid abuse, because the doses bodybuilders use classifies as abuse. It's not really use. There are people who can do that without experiencing major health problems. Their lipid profiles, they don't get the high cholesterol, the high blood pressure. They don't get the changes to their left ventricle, the heart, the wall. They don't get most of the bad side effects, while other people get them severely. Their liver values go through the roof. Their cholesterol, they lose their good cholesterol. Their bad cholesterol goes up. Blood pressure issues, plaque in the arteries. And most people, you can't know ahead of time whether you're a hyper-tolerator or not. You'd have to be on the drugs for a while, then start getting blood work and heart scans, and then find out. You know, by the grace of God, I was and am a hyper-tolerator. I don't do the heavy cycles anymore, but I did fairly substantial cycles, 1,500 to 2,500 milligrams per week cycles. I probably did 30, 40, I don't know, maybe 50 cycles like that. I don't know how many I did. I never kept track. But the point is, I'm still here. I'm almost 55 years old. I just had blood work done. Liver and creatine are just a little bit above average. Everything's fine. My cholesterol is good. My blood pressure. I have a cardiologist. I get EKG on the heart every year, do a stress test, do a calcium score every 2 years. By the grace of God, I'm okay. But that doesn't mean everyone else is going to be okay. A lot of other people get the worst side effects, and some of them pass away early. I don't wish ill or death on anybody, but the fact is, a lot of guys, if they start out using steroids by this age, 14, 15, 16, in those early teen years, and if they continue to steadily use them, a lot of them, by the time they're 30 or 35, they're going to have severe problems with their kidneys, their heart, maybe their liver. Some of them aren't even going to make it. Some of these kids, they are kids, starting using steroids at this age, they're not going to last. They're not going to live to even middle age. They're going to pass by 35 or 40. You know, people think I'm being alarmist by saying that, but it's God's honest truth. Baby on your arms. Oh, God. Stay on topic, guys. Nowadays, TikTok kids have had more knowledge. They seem to get easier on the trap of roids for to society. Yeah, it's become, Thanos, it's become like a clout thing. It's the cool thing now to be on steroids for these kids. I can remember just a couple years ago, you would see people who were obviously on gear claiming to be natural. That was the commonplace thing to see on social media. Now, for some reason, it's flipped around to where it's cool, and the people, the ones that are getting the most interaction and followers and views and clicks and all that are the ones that are bragging, talking about their steroid use openly. The TREN twins, YouTube sensations, social media sensations, two young guys, perfect example, talking about how much they use all the time. They have pretty damn good physiques, but they're openly talking about their steroid use constantly. Sam Sulek, to his credit, does not talk about his steroid use. I give him credit for that, because kids are going to emulate. They're going to see these other young men who are looking a certain way that they would like to look like. They would like to be big and jacked and buff, and they think all the girls are going to flock to them, and all the guys will be respecting them and intimidated by them. So they're going to want to do whatever it takes, whatever their hero, these other young guys that they're looking up to. If they see that this guy says, I'm on 500 milligrams of TREN, I'm on this, I'm on that, they're going to want to do it too. Yeah, so I'd love to hear what Seth Roach would say to this kid. I'm sure he would blast him. I'm sure Seth would blast him. I don't think it would be fun for the kid. No, I don't think he wouldn't listen. I mean, people are trying to talk sense to him in the comments, and he's just dismissing everything because he's a kid. He's a child. You're 14 years old. You know, that's why I'm not picking on him, because I'm a grown-ass man. I'm old enough to be his grandfather practically. So, no, you know, I'm not trying to say, well, but he is a child. His brain's not fully formed. This is why kids make dumb decisions. This is why they have the highest, 16, 17-year-old kids have the highest car insurance rates, because they get in the most accidents. not only because they have the least amount of experience driving, that's a major factor in it, but because they make stupid decisions. They'll speed all the time. They'll drink and drive. They'll blow through lights. They'll do a lot of dumb things because the decision-making part of their brain is not fully formed yet. So, I mean, Jones says he looks good for his age, minus the acne. Yeah, but the fact is, Raymond, that he's already on steroids at 14 to look like this. He could have looked like this. This is not an unattainable physique. He could have looked like this in a couple of years, naturally. Maybe not as veiny, certainly without all the acne. But that's a physique that's perfectly attainable naturally if he had just taken more time to do so. He wouldn't have had it at 14. He probably would have had to wait till he was maybe 16, 17, 18. But he could have easily done this naturally. But it's a very, very, it's a give it to me now generation. Quick rewards, impatience. I get it. He's probably joking about being natty around, yeah, and Mog being pretty much better than someone else. Yeah, my son tried to explain it to me one time. He's 24, so he's one of the older Gen Zs. Young men, children, Western world in complete self-destruct mode. I agree, Lucius. Very tragic what's happening. I mean, they have no guidance. I don't know his situation, but a lot of them have no strong male role models. I'm not going to blame single-parent households and divorce for all the problems that young men are going through now, but certainly that these are contributing factors. When kids don't have a strong father figure, a strong male role model, they just try to seek out other ways to figure out how to be a man. What does being a man mean? Masculinity. And they have to sort of forge their own identity based on things they see used to be in the movies or TV, and now it's on social media. Kids doing Olympics. Well, that's a kind of a strange argument, Raymond. They're kids his age. Yeah, I mean, there's always been like female gymnasts, 14, 15 years old, winning gold medals. That's nothing unusual. Those are elite athletes. This kid's not an elite athlete. He just wants to be jacked for attention and validation. And believe me, I get that. I totally get that. I mean, I started training 13, 14 myself. I wanted to be bigger. I wanted girls to like me. I wanted to stop being picked on. I used to get bullied and stuff. I did it for those reasons myself. I came to bodybuilding out of a place of insecurity. The steroids did exist. Obviously, I never heard of steroids at that age. I had no idea what the hell they were. Would I have used them? I don't know. I don't know. Watch what Tren did to me. It got me big as fuck. Oh boy, lazy. Yeah, it's lazy, Xavier, but it's really it's more impatience. They just don't want to wait. They don't want to wait. If I tell someone, they say, how long does it take to build like a bodybuilder physique? If I tell them, even naturally, it's going to take you a good 7 years to build a really good physique. That's with very consistent training, eating, sleeping. You can probably cut that time in half or less by adding in gear. Then you're introducing risk factors. And, now you're starting to actually take chances with your health. And I don't care what you're saying. This young man here, yeah, the body's very resilient at a young age. He's not going to see these effects. These things that are going to happen to his body if he continues, there's nothing you'd probably see now. You'd probably see some weird changes in his blood work at this point. I imagine his liver, his kidney value, his liver, things are already probably starting to shift into the danger zone a little bit. But he's not getting blood work at 14. He's not. When you're 14, you're not thinking about your health. You're not thinking about what your body's going to go through when you're 35, 40, 50 years old. That's just so far away. You can't even comprehend being 30 years old when you're 14. Forget about 40, 50. That's just, it's impossible. That's why the armies of the world have always relied on very young men, teenagers, very young men, because they have no fear. They have no concept of their own mortality. They think they're going to live forever. They don't think anything can hurt them. They don't think anything bad can happen to them. By the time you're a little older, especially by the time you get to be my age, you've had injuries, you've had maybe some health problems, you've had friends die, you've had a lot of relatives die. So, you're not as naive to the ways of the world as you might have been back then. He's already sponsored by Enhanced Labs. They sponsor teenagers. Well, he has I don't think he's sponsored. I think he has like a discount code. I'm not going to follow you code. Yeah, he's just got a discount code, Raymond. So they're not giving him any money. If people buy their products using his code, he gets a little piece of that. So sponsor means you're getting a check every month, regardless of whether you do anything, except maybe you're required contractually to make posts for them or something. But more often than not, most supplement companies now, they just have a lot of people with discount codes. So they don't have to pay these people a thing. They're not taking any financial risk at all. They're not paying these guys or girls a dime. They're giving them a discount code. It's up to these people, the men and women, to work it, to go out there and try to get people to buy the products using their code, and then they can make money. But it doesn't, the supplement companies have nothing to lose in that scenario. So Generation Iron did a post about them too. Shocking fitness journey on steroids. So the very top post was Tito Raymond, brother of Jose Raymond. Tito's a guy, it's my age. He used to compete with me many, many years ago. Said, why the hell is a 14-year-old doing steroids? Come on, man. No parents, no patients, just want it now. This is horrible. Totally agree with you, Tito. Rose Black online coach. This is not something the bodybuilding world should be promoting. I agree. Really terrible headline should be scathing of this, not supportive. I don't think they're supportive, but they are using this for clicks and views. And you know what? So am I. I made a video about it, so I can't talk. I was wrong. I thought he was 17 now. I was wrong. I got corrected by many, many people. Nothing good to say about these kids. Where are his parents? Destroyed his body for effing nothing. Another dead by 36. Someone says, would be surprised if he makes it past 30, to be honest. If he continues on this path, he might not. He might decide a month or two from now, no more steroids. Maybe his parents or parent will intervene and do something about it. I don't understand why this is called sport. Risking your health for your bros to say your big bro is crazy. These kids want it now. They don't want to work for it. Sad world. Blasting gear at 14. His parents should be in jail. I mean, that's not child abuse. Yeah. This is a double-edged sword of people being more open with use. It's sometimes glorified now. Of course, younger people are going to want quick gains. This kind of story will only become more common. I agree. Don't lie about using juice. Doesn't mean they have to explain on the web all the details on how to use. Yeah, that's become an easy way for people to get, you know, clicks, views, followers, is to just talk about their steroid use because it's interesting to a lot of people. A lot of people want to hear, especially if the person's got a good physique, they want to know exactly which drugs they're using, the doses, because they would like to replicate that for themselves. That's the main reason people want to hear what you're on, doses, which drugs, so they can copy your cycle and they think that's going to give you the exact same physique. If only it worked that way. It doesn't work that way. Oh, TREN. Is that all? No, there's way more. We're just going to keep. I guess that was all the comments from Generation Iron. All right, let's go back to Cody then. Where did I find him? Found him here. Okay, so back to Cody. Here I am promoting him, giving him more publicity. Fuck, he has a sponsor. No, Xavier, he has a discount code. So that means if people buy Enhanced Labs using his code, he gets a few bucks. He gets a couple bucks out of that every time. So he can make money, but they're not putting out any money. That's what most supplement companies now do. It's zero risk for them. They're not taking any chance of any risk at all. They're not paying a dime to the athletes, to the guys and girls out there with the discount codes. It's up to the people with the discount codes to generate sales, and that's how they can make money. It's purely commission. Think he'd be good at bodybuilding? Could be good. Yeah, he doesn't have bad genetics. Can he be great? Can he be Mr. Olympia? No. I mean, there have been 18 men, I think it is, who've won Mr. Olympia ever since 1965. Almost 60 years. This year is the 60th Mr. Olympia. And we've actually had more different Mr. Olympia champs in the last 6 years, 5 to be exact, than we had for many, many years. Because we had these dynasties. We had from Lee Haney had it from 1984 to 1991. Dorian Yates had it from 92 to 97. Ronnie Coleman had it from 98 to 2005. Jay Cutler had it on and off. He lost to Dexter, got the title back. Then he lost to Phil Heath. Phil Heath had it for 7 years straight. And then we've seen it change hands. It went from Phil to Sean Roden to Brandon Curry to Big Ramy, Hadi Choopan, now Derek Lunsford. But if that few amount of people have ever won Mr. Olympia, that means your odds of winning the Powerball for, $300 million, something like that, are better than becoming Mr. Olympia. Does he have good genetics? Sure he does. Does he look better than just about every other 14-year-old? Sure he does. But That doesn't mean he's going to make money at it or not. I'm not saying, I don't know what his future is in terms of his long-term potential, what he's going to do as a pro. Like I said, there's a lot of pros out there. Most of them don't make any money from competing. There's very few people making a good living from the prize money. More people are actually making money who don't compete. The influencers, the fitness influencers out there with big followings on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, those platforms, they're making a lot more money, those people, than the vast majority of men and women with pro cards. Pro card doesn't guarantee you a penny. Did Aceto put it up? Who put it up? There was a picture of Victor Terra at 18. He was on gear, but he looked way, way better. I don't want to start comparing this kid to other teenagers. That's not what I'm trying to do here. It would make people more comfortable if he's 18. Yeah, I mean, Raymond, 18 is a legal adult. I mean, you commit a crime at 18, you're going to adult prison. You can vote for the next president. Can't go into a strip club. Can't drink yet. That's got to be 21. You can enlist in the military. You can do most things legally by 18. You're a legal adult at 18. If you're an 18-year-old woman, you're a legal adult. Nobody can get in trouble for, having relations with you. So 18 is considered an adult. I don't want to see 18-year-olds on steroids, but I certainly don't. I would still rather, give me a choice. Ron, would you rather see an 18-year-old on steroids or a 14-year-old on steroids? Come on now. 14 is it's a kid. It's middle school. He might be in high school. He might be starting high school this year. I don't know, but it's very, very young. He's still got years of high school ahead of him, this kid, to be juiced up at that young of an age. It's like, where do you go from there? All of you who have done steroids for many, many years, I know there's a few out there, you know that over time, you need to take higher doses to continue seeing effects. So if you start out taking cycles that are like a gram, 1,000 milligrams a week, you might get results for a year, maybe 2 years. Then you're going to have to bump it up, 1,500 milligrams a week. Your doses are going to have to go up. When 200, 300 milligrams of test used to do something for you, now you need 500, then 600. Eventually, you're going to need a gram of test, maybe 1,500 milligrams of test a week to still keep getting results. I know this whole thing, it turns out that the receptor downgrade thing has been disproven, but all of you out there who have long-term gear users know you can't get the same results from lower amounts that you used to. You just can't. Your body does get accustomed to it. I don't know why. I don't know the exact mechanisms. I'm not a scientist. Don't even pretend to be one. Let's see. Xavier again. Should be judging. I was a dropout in part of his age. I started working out. I turned 20. Now he's successful. One good habit. I mean, I'm not judging him. I'm not judging Cody personally as a pre-kid. Every human being is free to make their own choices. As a minor, which he is, a parent is supposed to be keeping an eye on you and making sure you don't make a lot of stupid choices. People, I kept seeing things in defense, like it could be a lot worse. He could be on coke. He could be using cocaine or heroin or fentanyl or oxy. He could be doing all these things. I said, yeah, that's true. But that's like saying, well, my kid smokes weed, but at least he's not on heroin. Okay, yeah, heroin's worse than weed, but your child, you want to keep them safe and healthy as possible. You don't want them doing anything to harm themselves or to risk their long-term health and longevity. You just, as a parent, you shouldn't. You're responsible for that child until they're 18 and they're no longer a minor. That's when they're an adult. Some parents, that's when they kick their kid out the door and say, go find your own way in the world, pay your own rent, buy your own food. I'm not supporting you anymore. You're a grown-up. You can go join the army or something. So he would have to start now if you want a pro level physique before he graduated high school. So let's say he gets a pro level physique, Raymond. I know a ton of pros who have never made any money from being pro bodybuilders, not one penny. If you can make top 5 in these shows, they just bumped up first prize to $15,000 as a minimum in all the shows. There are a couple other shows that pay out more money. Detroit Pro did like 25, I think, for. Let's just say the only big money shows are the Arnold and the Olympia. Those are the 2 big money shows. If you win those, a couple times, you got some good cash. You got good sponsors that are paying you a salary, a really nice salary. You can do okay, but there's not many people doing that. The vast majority of people with pro level physiques aren't making any money from competing in bodybuilding. And there's plenty of people who are fitness influencers who don't have pro level physiques. They just look really good. They're lean, they have abs, cool hair, good looking, well spoken. They can get these massive followings and make a great living without ever, if they're even using PEDs, they're using small amounts because they're not trying to be big and freakish. It's not the same if you jump in TRT for life. Yeah, I mean, if this gentleman, Cody, if he continues using gear for the next couple of years, I'm certain by the time he's 18 or 19 at the latest, unless he takes long breaks off the gear and does PCT and all that, and keeps his doses reasonable, eventually it doesn't matter. Eventually you're going to destroy your body's endocrine system, and your testosterone production will permanently shut down. No matter how careful you are, eventually that's going to happen. Unless you take tons and tons of time off, which is most people will not do that because they can't. Once they've experienced being big and jacked and getting all that attention and feeling that way, looking in the mirror and seeing that freaky physique, they never want to go back to being normal and looking natty. So they stay on all the time. They're blasting and cruising. They're always on at least something. So he will destroy his production if he continues. And people say, well, what's the big deal? He'll just be on TRT. I mean, yeah. If you're fine with that, but would you want to be on TRT for life starting at age 20 when you could have started TRT? Most people most American men that start TRT are about 40 or over. Even steroid users. I didn't start TRT till I was 39 or 40. That was the point where I realized my production was never coming back. And that was kind of early because a lot of people don't start until they're 45 or 50. And wasting his time then, well, he's getting famous. I understand exactly all his motivations. I was insecure. I was short. I started high school at 14 years old. I was 4'11". I was 95 pounds when I started ninth grade. I turned 14 a couple months into starting ninth grade. That was the fall of September 1983. So I was 4'11". I was 95 pounds. That was when I started training very consistently. Up to that point, I had been sort of from 13, my 13th birthday, I got a weight set. I would train for a couple of weeks. I would stop, start. It wasn't very consistent. By the time I was 14, I turned 14, I was consistent. Didn't know how to eat, didn't do any of that. Certainly didn't know about gear. Would I have used gear back then? Probably, if it had been an option for me, if I knew about it. So like I said, I'm not judging him. I know exactly where his head's at because I was the same way. And I can imagine all the attention he's getting now from all the other people his age, 14-year-olds who see him and like, oh my God. I'm sure he's by far the most jacked person in any peer group he's around. And it must feel good to get all that attention, all that validation, walk around like a tank top swole with the veins and everything. I'm sure he feels like $1 million, but it's not sustainable forever. If you're going to start at 14, when are you going to stop? How long are you going to do this? You're going to do this till you're 30, 40? Now you're talking, 30, 40 years on gear. Nobody goes hardcore 30, 40 years on gear without very, very major health effects, ill health effects, or dying before they reach that point. I'm not wishing ill upon the kid. I don't want anything bad to happen to him. I don't wish illness or death on anybody. I don't. And I'm a parent. That's why this whole thing's upset me so much, is because I'm a parent. I have a son. I have a daughter. If my son if he was 14 years old and I saw him suddenly get much, much bigger, more muscular, veins popping out everywhere, acne blooming all over his body, I would immediately suspect steroids, and I would step in and intervene and say, whatever you're doing needs to stop. And I would, there are drug tests. You can actually buy, I think, steroid drug tests at like Walmart, CVS, Walgreens, places like that, to test your kids for. You can test your kids for recreational drugs. A lot of parents do that, and I think you can buy kits now to urine test your kids for steroids too. So, man, what else did they say on Nick's website? Nick's page had a lot of comments on it that I thought were. Kid's parents, he's 14, he's already blowing up his future, not in a good way, using training gear that young, promoting it. This is wild, and his hormones and growth will be all fucked up now. Plus, look at his face, which is drastically aged. Again, where are his parents, and how is he even getting away with posting all this? 14 is wild young to already be going down the body dysmorphia rabbit hole. What? So now someone's in his defense, someone's saying literally every dude who is a huge sports star says their parents started them on path super early. I don't know why bodybuilding is different. Well, if you want to talk about sports stars, things like basketball, football, golf, those sports, well, that makes sense because you need a high skill level. And those are sports where there is potential. There is potential to make a lot of money if you're one of the few who is amazing at what you do, playing football, at basketball, ice hockey, golf. If you're a Tiger Woods or something, there's a lot of money to be made. Bodybuilding, there's not that much money to be made. There's a few guys making a lot of money and a lot of guys making little or no money from the actual sport itself. Here's another one in his defense. Taking steroids regularly is more dangerous. Oh, no, this is not. It's more dangerous than drinking alcohol regularly. To sum it up, natural is the correct way. Yeah, I mean, it's just, this is an age when you only have this brief window of time in your life when your body's producing all these hormones, the testosterone, the growth hormone in large amounts on its own, naturally, for free, safely. It's these years, the puberty years, or let's say puberty and into your early 20s, maybe like 14 to 22, prime years for your hormones to be at their highest peak levels naturally. You're never going to get those years back. So that's why I really try to encourage guys, if you're going to use steroids, if you're going to, you've got your mind made up, hold off until you're at least in your early 20s. Make the most out of those years when you have the natural hormones available to you, because you're never going to get that time back. What's the rush? There's already been people turning pro as teenagers. Nobody's going to break any records. Nobody's going to be Mr. Olympia by 19 or 20 years old. I don't care how great you think you are. It's not happening. We've yet to see anyone that good at that young of an age. It takes time to refine a physique. So there's no point in rushing things other than just pure impatience. Now, I don't know if this is even true. This says Nick Walker admitted to start around 14, 15. I don't believe that's true. I don't think Nick ever said that. My point is, when someone is 14, they don't see what they're doing. They think they can conquer the world. And they hop on steroids thinking it's so cool. And now most of the teens think it's so cool because some influencers are glorifying steroids. 100%. It's the glorification of it that I find most disturbing. Yeah. I mean, this is a kid. He's a kid. 14 years old, like I said, you're not even old enough to do things like drive a car or vote. I don't know who's selling him. Whoever's selling a 14-year-old steroids, unless he's just getting them online, they should be ashamed of themselves. You know, it's like a drug, someone selling cocaine to a 14-year-old. To me, it's no better, or heroin to a 14-year-old. Shouldn't be selling cocaine or heroin to anybody, obviously. But to someone that young, you know, that's just evil. It's evil, really corrupting the youth. I guess someone would say, well, he's going to get him somewhere. That's every drug dealer's defense is, well, if he didn't buy the steroids from me or the cocaine from me, someone else will just sell it to him. Okay, well, then let someone else sell it to him. And, you know, you wouldn't have to have that on your conscience if you have a conscience. I don't see him quitting on his own. Yeah, Raymond, you're so young, obviously. You're so impressionable at that age when you're 14. This body dysmorphia thing is real. He's already getting accustomed to all the attention he's getting online. People are making videos about him. Coach Greg, Nick Trigilli, well-known people in the fitness world are recognizing him, pointing him out, getting his name out there. Again, I'm surprised he doesn't have more followers. Maybe he has more people on TikTok or something. I don't know, more followers. But this is very, very addictive. Once he's accustomed to this, which at this point he must already be, to this level of attention and to getting those results, how do you go back? Once you've had very, very quick, very satisfying results, how do you go back to waiting long stretches of time to see far more significant gains? Because naturally, you grow quickly as a natural teen compared to how you would later in life because of the hormone situation and because the weight training is so new to you. But still, you're not going to experience this rapid, instant satisfaction, instant gratification Okay, you would while using steroids. And another real thing to consider is if he goes off, if he eventually does go off, he's going to have to deal with losing the size, the strength, losing that attention, losing all that validation, seeing that physique shrink away, wither away, going to the gym, and the weights that used to be easy, now they're impossible. I was benching 315, now I can barely get 275, and then it's 225. You know, the psychological effects of that are devastating. The depression you would go through. Kids have committed suicide. It's happened. It's happened. Not a lot, thank God. But it's a very depressing thing. That's why it's a bad thing for people to go off steroids cold turkey. It's better to wean them off and go on TRT rather than take someone on a big cycle and then cold turkey. They get that massive crash. Their hormones are all out of whack. They get very depressed and bad things can happen. Yes, TREN cause psychological effects. Absolutely. Let me see if I can pull up some actual stats on that. Some actual information, because I'm just a psychological effects of Trenbolone. Let's see what it says. Let's see. I'm gonna find it for you. Yeah. Okay, so here we go. Got this ready for you. Stop screen. I'm going to present this screen. Yeah, this is worth showing because it's hard enough being a teenager psychologically. Teens have to deal with a lot of things as they're going through puberty and trying to find their identity and you know, puberty and the fact that they're going to have to be an adult soon. There's a lot of things we go through. So PubMed, National Library of Medicine, this is on their website. This is a paper about the psychological effects of Trenbolone. A qualitative exploration of Trenbolone in the performance and image enhancing drug community. So I'm just going to read the results here. Of all the AAS, of all the anabolic androgenic steroids, Trenbolone was viewed as having the most deleterious consequences for those who used it. Users reported an extreme shift in risk profile for psychosocial harms, particularly increased aggression and violent behavior, as well as impulsivity regulation issues. AS using peers and family members of users reported the readily observable effects of Trenbolone. Discussion and conclusion: users should be cognizant of the potential for significant harms, and healthcare providers working with this group may consider more focused screening strategies. Future policy decisions regarding AAS may wish to consider the pivotal role Trenbolone plays in adverse outcomes for this unique group of substance users. So, yeah. In the introduction, this is summarizing a long paper. It says, myth has developed among users with Trenbolone reportedly having more dramatic effects on individuals, with reports of aggression, violent behavior, and extreme mood disturbances. This is reflected in extant literature. So, those of you who have used Tren, I know I'm like, I don't want to throw the word around incorrectly, but I feel like psychotic. I've never done well on Tren psychologically. Like I have invasive thoughts, just irrational thoughts, stupid. I'm thinking dumb shit. Road rage. I mean, everything sets me off. I have a short fuse, and I'm normally a pretty chill guy. I'm really not an angry person, but on Tren did bring about more aggression in me for sure. Does it work a little better than most of those steroids? Yeah. Is it worth it? I know a lot of people can't sleep right on it. You have insomnia. What good is a steroid that's better at fostering muscle growth if you're not able to sleep and recover from the workouts and reap the full benefits of it? It's kind of like a give and take there, don't you think? Brian Lee, social media has really distorted gym culture. 43, I miss the old days of no phones, just blaring music and crushing weight. Well, Brian, I'm even older, obviously. I'm 54. I'll be 55 in September. I remember when steroid use was nobody talked about it in the open. You know, guys, if you knew other guys who were using it, you would just talk to each other, but you like in a corner whispering. It wasn't, you certainly wouldn't put it on blast on social media. Hey, I'm on Tren, I'm on Test, I'm on D-ball, I'm on this. Here's my cycle. These are the great gains I'm making. You wouldn't be promoting it. You wouldn't be putting it out there for the world. It's something that you weren't really proud of. And, you know, you certainly weren't looking for attention and validation from it. You were trying to keep that on the down low because, you know, people would judge you harshly for it. People would look down on you. They'd say you're a cheater, you're a drug addict, you're abusing these drugs for vanity purposes. And now it's like the cool in thing. I mean, this is a generation that they were eating Tide Pods a couple years ago. They do these challenges that get them killed, you know, running out in traffic. It's just dumb shit. Goku Luffy, would it be okay if he was an elite athlete? If so, why? No, I don't think it would be okay under any circumstance. If he was an elite athlete and like 20 years old, 25 years old, it'd be more acceptable, but he's a child. I don't want to see any 14-year-old. I don't care if he's a world-class gymnast, runner, or whatever, versus a bodybuilder. It's not sport specific. I wouldn't want to see any 14-year-old on PEDs. And Trenbolone is one of the most toxic PEDs out there. I think methyl test is actually like worse on your liver. But Tren is pretty harsh. It's a very harsh drug. That's why most people won't stay on it for more than 4 to 6 weeks. They can't deal with all the side effects that they experience from it, both psychologically and physically. But no, I wouldn't want to see anybody on it. Back in the days, EC Stack and ABB products was the way to go. Yeah, ABB were the plastic bottles they would sell in the, you know, all the gyms had those coolers with the sodas and this and that, the water bottles, keep them cold. And ABB was a company that had Turbo T. I can't remember all the names. Blue Thunder. They had a lot of cool products. I wonder if I can find a picture up for you guys. Just because he's got me feeling sentimental now. ABB drinks. I'm just curious. Discontinued. Ripped Force. I won't even bother. Who cares? Hair looking good, Ron. Thank you, Brian. Yeah, it's coming in pretty well. This was all bald at the start of the year. This area, my hair was receded up to here. They brought my hairline down. The top's not quite as good, but it's coming in. It's better than it was. Cody Kopa. Cody, if that's really you, like I said, I'm a parent. I have a son. This video is not to blast you. I'm not calling you names, but if this is you, the real you, anybody could have just made a fake account. I'm concerned. I'm genuinely concerned about you. Really, I am. Otherwise, I'd be saying, you know, F this kid. I hope he dies. No. I have kids. I'm a dad. I care about young people. I want to see everybody grow up and be happy and healthy. Is me look at the channel? Okay, well, that's great. I appreciate you being on here, Cody. Cody, do you plan to stay? You know what, Cody? If you want to do an interview with me, if you want to, you can tell me to go F myself. That's your right. But if you want to do an interview, I'm down. I'm down to talk with you and get your headspace on this. I'm curious about what your parents think, if they know. I'm just curious in general, what would drive you to do this at such a young age, other than the pressures that you kids face with social media these days. I feel for this Gen Z. You know, I'm not one of those people who says you kids today have it so easy. I think we had it easy compared to you because we didn't have social media. The world was a much simpler place. The cost of living was cheaper. I think I had it much easier at 14 than you do in this modern world of 2024 that we're living in right now. Joseph Arablo, social media is to blame with young guys like the Tren twins glorifying juice. Make kids think it's cool to use gear. 14 using Tren is one of the most awful things I've heard. Let's look at the channel. What happens when I click on the link? Oop, I can't do that. I can't click on the link from here. This is just the chat. Yeah, Cody. So I'm on Instagram, Ron Harris Muscle. If you want to do an interview, I am down with it. If not, you can make videos saying Ron Harris is an a-hole. How dare he make this video? He can go F himself. Jealous old hater. You know, I mean, I think you look great, but you could have gotten that physique, the same physique you have now. You could have had it in a couple more years. You didn't want to wait. I get it. If I had access to something that would have sped up my results back then when I was 14, I don't know. Maybe I would have hopped on gear myself at 14. I don't know. I'm not saying I wouldn't have because I don't know. I didn't have that option. I didn't have, even if I did, the only people who would have ever seen my physique and given me any praise would have been people directly around me. Social media has given you an outlet to the entire world. Literally millions and millions of people can look at you and tell you how great you look, give you that attention, that validation that, you know, you don't even have to be a kid to want that. Everybody loves attention and validation. So yeah, I get it. I get it, Cody. And I really do wish you the best. I don't want to see you hurting yourself. I don't want to see you shutting down your hormone production for the rest of your life at a young age. When I say this all comes from a place of love, that's being a little ridiculous. I don't love Cody. He's not my kid, but I care about people. As a dad, I care about people that I know. That's somebody's son. That's somebody's daughter. So I like to see people doing things safely. I love bodybuilding. I waited until I was 27, which I'm not saying everyone has to wait till they're 27 to start gear, but I don't think if I'd started at 14 using gear and use it continuously, I don't know, if I'd be alive right now. That was 40 years ago. I don't think I would have been here using gear for 40 years. I don't think my body would have been able to take that. As great as my genetics are for staving off major health problems, you know, by the grace of God. I think that's from my late mother, called her Ruthie genetics, because she was able to do things like smoke and drink and have all kinds of health problems and still kept going for many, many years. Anyway, I'm going to wrap it up, guys. This has been almost an hour. And yeah, Cody, I appreciate you coming on here. If you want to do an interview, I'm down for it. If not, you know, that's fine. But I hope you guys have at least had some food for thought here. Obviously, I feel a certain way about very young people using steroids because I'm a parent. I don't want to see young people hurting themselves with anything, be it recreational drugs, steroids, getting pregnant at 13 or something. I don't want to see any of that. You know, I always felt my job as a parent, number one, was keep my kids safe. That's it. Make sure they have food, shelter, medical care, keep them away from bad influences, keep them safe from harm. That was my number one job as a parent. My wife is a great mom. You know, together, by the grace of God, we raised two happy, healthy, well-adjusted adults. And, you know, I like to see everyone do that. That's it. So, guys, I think that's enough for one day. Wouldn't you say so? So if you like the channel, guys, please subscribe to it. Like the video. Share this on your social media platforms like Facebook or whatnot. Ring that notification bell so you know when we have new videos on the channel. And, of course, follow me on Instagram at Ron Harris Muscle. If you're on Instagram, helps me out. None of these things cost you a penny, but they do help me out. So that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. And I'm going to be back on this channel in the next couple of days with a preview of the Mr. Big Evolution Pro Portugal show, which is going to be William Bonac going up against Nathan Asha and Krizo. Krizo is a late entry. We thought he was done until EVLS Prague show, but he is back. He is back, and he wants that Olympic qualification. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. Take care of yourselves. Be kind to each other, and I'll see you later.